In the quiet village of Matolani, deep within Kaluleni, Kilifi County, a family dispute that had simmered for years would end beside a shallow river in blood. This is the story of the death of Katana Koi Mwayele and the murder trial of his son, Hamisi Katana Koi. A case that forced the Kenyan courts to confront a chilling question. What happens when suspicion, fear, and accusations of witchcraft enter a family home? The morning of July 31st, 2018. The morning began ordinarily. At around 9:30 a.m., Katana Koi Mwayele, an elderly man from Matulani village, walked to a nearby stream to bathe. He removed his clothes by the riverbank. But according to witness testimony later presented before the High Court in Mombasa, he was not alone for long. A woman named Shida Kaingo, one of the deceased wives, told the court she was grazing goats nearby when she suddenly heard desperate screams echoing from the river. My son is killing. She rushed toward the sound, and what she claimed she saw would become the centerpiece of the entire murder trial. According to her testimony, she saw Hamisi Katana Koi struggling violently with his father. She alleged he was beating the elderly man using a wooden log. The attack, witnesses said, was brutal. By the time family members returned to the scene, moments later, the victim's body was floating in the water. Police later recovered clothes beside the stream. Witnesses also mentioned a pair of green slippers allegedly linked to the accused. A post-mortem examination would reveal devastating injuries: multiple wounds to the head, fractures to the skull, broken ribs, trauma to the chest. The official medical conclusion: death caused by severe assault. But this case was not simply about violence. It was also about belief. Several witnesses told the court that Hamisi Koi had, in the years before the killing, accused his father of bewitching him. Village elders had reportedly attempted to mediate disputes within the family. And while the defense denied these allegations, the prosecution argued the accusations revealed motive. The accused, however, denied murdering his father entirely. In court, Hamisi claimed he had been away working in Mshomoroni in Mombasa and had only returned after hearing news of the death. He insisted the slippers found at the scene were not proven to be his. He denied ever attacking his father, and he claimed tensions existed between himself and some family members, particularly the witness, Shida Kaingo. Then came another troubling detail. After the killing, the accused disappeared for nearly 3 months. Investigators later testified that they tracked a mobile phone number linked to him across the Kenya-Tanzania border. Finally, on December 6, 2018, detectives laid an ambush along the Nairobi-Mombasa highway. A Takmid coach bus was stopped. Inside was Hamisi Katana Koi. Police testified that when they called the tracked phone number, the phone rang in his hand. The case proceeded before the High Court at Mombasa under Kenyan murder laws, specifically Section 203 of the Penal Code, which defines murder, and Section 204, which provides the punishment. Under Kenyan law, prosecutors had to prove 4 things beyond reasonable doubt: that death occurred, that it resulted from an unlawful act, that the accused participated in the act, and that there was malice aforethought, meaning intent. The court examined witness testimony carefully, particularly the evidence from Shida Kaingu, who said she personally saw the accused assaulting the deceased. The judge also considered the nature of the injuries, the repeated blows, and the act of allegedly placing the unconscious victim into the water afterward. And on October 19, 2023, Justice Ongenjo delivered judgment. The court found Hamisi Katana Koi guilty of murder. This case leaves behind difficult but important lessons within the Kenyan context. First, accusations of witchcraft remain deeply sensitive in many communities across Kenya. But Kenyan law does not permit violence, retaliation, or vigilante justice based on belief or suspicion. No accusation, cultural, spiritual, or personal, removes the protection of the law. Second, eyewitness testimony can become decisive in criminal trials. Even where no murder weapon is recovered, courts may still convict if surrounding evidence forms a consistent and credible chain. Third, flight after a crime can heavily influence investigations and judicial interpretation. Although fleeing alone does not prove guilt, disappearance after a violent death often raises serious suspicion. And finally, this case demonstrates how unresolved family conflict can escalate when intervention fails. Village mediation, community dialogue, and mental health support remain critical in preventing violence before it becomes irreversible. A father entered the river to bathe. He never came home. And in the silence that followed, one family was left shattered forever. This has been the River at Matulani case, and this is Kasi with True Crime with MMS Advocates.